Justice means minding your own business and not meddling with other men's concerns. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. The foundation of every state is the education of its youth. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. The mind is everything. What you think you become. Friends are as companions on a journey who ought to aid each other to persevere in the road to a happier life. Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for. Man conquers the world by conquering himself. The most difficult thing in life is to know yourself. The most useful piece of learning for the uses of life is to unlearn what is untrue. The life of the dead is placed in the memory of the living. The drops of rain make a hole in the stone, not by violence, but by oft falling. Employ your time in improving yourself by other men's writings, so that you shall come easily by what others have labored hard for. To do the same thing over and over again is not only boredom, it is to be controlled by rather than to control what you do. It is with our passions as it is, with fire and water. They are good servants, but bad masters. Everything has a natural explanation. The moon is not a god, but a great rock, and the sun a hot rock. Stars are like animals in the wild. We may see the young, but never the actual birth, which is a veiled and secret event. The secret to happiness is freedom, and the secret to freedom is courage. No man knows more than all men, but every man knows something better than some men. For God's sake, let us sit upon ground and tell sad stories of the death of kings. There is one story left, one road, that it is. And on this road there are very many signs that being is uncreated and indestructible, whole, unique, immovable, and complete. It is the greatest good for an individual to discuss virtue every day and those other things about which you hear me, conversing and testing myself and others, for the unexamined life is not worth living. The highest good is not to seek to do the highest good, but to allow the highest good to be done unto you. If you do not hope, you will not find what is beyond your hopes. It is not the possession of anything that is great, but the use that is made of it. Give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum on which to place it, and I shall move the world. The misfortune of the wise is better than the prosperity of the fool. The one is ineffable and transcends all being and all causality. It is beyond all categories of knowing and unknowing, being and non-being. To find the universal elements enough, to find the air and the water exhilarating, to be refreshed by a morning walk or an evening saunter, to be thrilled by the stars at night, to be elated over a bird's nest or a wildflower in spring. These are some of the rewards of the simple life. The philosophy of Plato is not only the most elevated and profound, but also the most ancient, and that which is most divine and inspired. No one can be free who has 1,000 lords, nor can any be a lord if he be not free. The knowledge of anything, since all things have causes, is not acquired or complete unless it is known by its causes. Truth does not become more true by virtue of the fact that the entire world agrees with it, nor less so, even if the whole world disagrees with it. Teach thy tongue to say, I do not know, and thou shalt progress. The beginning of knowledge is the discovery of something we do not understand. Do not be a slave to others when Allah has created you free. Do not be satisfied with the stories that come before you. Unfold your own myth. Life is like a play. It's not the length, but the excellence of the acting that matters. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Great is the man who has not lost his childlike heart. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know. The person attempting to travel two roads at once will get nowhere. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. As long as man continues to be the ruthless destroyer of lower living beings, he will never know health or peace. Three things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. Suspend judgment in all matters. Truth is elusive and often beyond human grasp. Be smart. Choose a woman who didn't have a man for long because she has learned to stand on her own, cultivate her independence, and build a life based on her own strengths and aspirations. Everything flows and nothing abides. Everything gives way and nothing stays fixed. All things come from and return to the boundless and undefined, the apeiron. The wise man is indifferent to external circumstances, focusing instead on mastering his own mind. Friendship dances around the world, calling us all to awaken to the recognition of happiness. When we see men of a contrary character, we should turn inwards and examine ourselves. Excellence is an art won by training and habituation. We do not act rightly because we have virtue or excellence, but we rather have those because we have acted rightly. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. All wrong. Doing arises because of mind. If mind is transformed, can wrong, doing remain? If you realize that all things change, there is nothing you will try to hold on to. We must exercise ourselves in the things which bring happiness, since if that be present, we have everything, and if that be absent, all our actions are directed toward attaining it. No one is more miserable than the one who thinks they are never miserable.